Okay. So this is Hive CLI. Say example, I just say select star from customers. So it is taking my query, okay, and then it is going to give this query to the SQL driver, okay, which is like SQL engine. It is going to uh, get the data from the HDFS. Okay, so that's what this Hive driver does. The Hive driver has a few components inside, which we'll discuss later. You can think of as whatever Hive queries you pass via CLI, or it can be like a JDBC a connection you establish and pass your query, which is going to come via Hive server. Then it will pass that again the query back to the Hive driver. Or there are Hive web UIs, or you can write Hive queries. Like there's a component called HU browser in Cloudera distribution, where you can type Hive queries. You can just that will be sent back to the uh, Hive driver, which actually runs your MapReduce job and gives the result back. Okay, these are the different ways you can submit your Hive queries. End of the day, it is going to come via Hive driver. Now, okay, so what is happening? Hive driver, it is going to generate the DAG. Okay, so basically the DAG or DAG in terms of MapReduce job as a map and reduce task, and it is going to run on the MapReduce. So then just see there is a one more component called Metastore. What is this Metastore component? These Metastore components going to store the schema of your table. So I'll just go and create a table here. Say I just I create a table and user ID, teacher, username. Anyone who having good SQL background, uh, string. Yes. Okay. One thing is everybody should know
Yeah.
SQL. So there is no doubt in that, because even if it is if there is some work in Hadoop side which you have basically work on Apache Hive, or when it comes to Spark or PySpark, there definitely is going to be use of SQL. So there is no doubt that you have to learn SQL. Okay, and then I just create a user city. Can anyone tell me when you create a table in RDBMS, where did the table information is stored? Uh, did you observe any time, or have you know about that?
It will be in data dictionary.
Sorry.
That will be stored in data dictionary or metadata information.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. I'll just put my charges. That is which RDBMS? When you say data dictionary, which RDBMS?
Talking about Oracle. I
Oracle.
think
Okay.
it is almost same everywhere, even MS SQL.
Okay. When you say data dictionary, you mean to say there will be a kind of in actually SQL server, it is called as master DB, right? Master database. Maybe
Right.
in Oracle you may say data dictionary. I have not much exposure to the Oracle, but if you think MySQL or SQL server, like as you mentioned, so there is a
Master database.
Master database, right? So which stores your whatever table you create on database. Even when you create a new database or tables inside your database, all this information will be stored on that master database, right? So that's a separate database which manages your metadata about different databases as well as the tables, right? Similarly, Hive also, either you create a database. Example, I just create database and I just create a sales DB, right? This is my database. This is a command to create a database in Hive. Whether I create a database and I just go and create a table here, it is going to store all this information, this metadata information on a component called Metastore. So Metastore is another database. It's a kind of RDBMS database. So when we say Metastore, it's actually another RDBMS. So by default, Hive uses RDBMS called in-memory RDBMS called Derby. By default, Hive comes with the Derby RDBMS system, which stores your database, Hive tables information, right? That's what we call it as Metastore. Metastore is the inbuilt component in your Hive. So that comes with RDBMS Derby. You can go and replace this Derby database with your own RDBMS. Like example, you might have license for Oracle or SQL Server, or you might want to MySQL to store your database and table information. You can go to the Metastore configuration and change, instead of Derby connection details, you change your MySQL connection details, right? So that is the Metastore. So whenever the Hive driver, if the suppose I'm using a CLI, I'm passing a query, the Hive driver will try to understand your query schemas. It will based on the schema available in the Metastore, right? When you write a query on top of a table, you just sorry, when you query data from table, so the IO driver has to understand what is the schema of the table. It will go and refer in the Metastore. After that only it will prepare the DAG in terms of map task and reduce task. That will be run on MapReduce. So the essential component in Hive is a Hive driver and Metastore. So you understood what are these two component does in Hive, right? Just let me know if you have any question, because this is the base for your Hive installation. Right. So if we want to rewrite this or maybe show in different way. So think of as you have so you will have HDFS, your data. Files and directories in HDFS, right? So then you will have a MapReduce component. Right, then you have Hive here. Here you create databases, tables, etc. So it is going to store your details on the metastore component. So by default DB configured is Derby, but we can go and change either MySQL or Oracle or SQL Server. Okay, so it just always it refers Derby, and based on that schema, it is going to generate your MapReduce job and run it here. So the queries come from Hive CLI. Mostly it will be more of we write more queries on Hive CLI. Or from JDBC driver. And sometimes you may use some web interfaces. uBrowser or kind of browsers where you can just write your queries, which is supplied to the Hive. Right, so this is how the Hive architecture works, right? So you need to understand what is Hive driver does, what is the use of Metastore, how do you configure Metastore, right? So that's going to be your just to understanding, right? So most of your work, either you try your Hive queries on Hive CLI. Once it is performed, so then you are going to schedule it in your scheduling components. So for simple activities, you will be doing using CLI, or you can use any web browser to run your queries. Once your queries are ready for testing or production, you go on to schedule it using the component automation components like Oozie or Airflow. So, you have any queries on this?
So this data type, does it have any limitation?
When you say
strings?
limitation, so like how you have different data types in RDBMS. Similarly, we have similar like data types in Hive. So when you say limitation, what do you are meaning?
No, the size, like
No, it is
string.
string.
Can you give
So
any number of?
it is string, so it can be any number. For a character like how do you say alpha characters? It
Number.
is you have a char and as you have a string. Mostly string is represented. Okay, so for both characters and even alphanumeric also can be using string. For only the numerical part, if you have
And
only whole number, you can use integer. But the decimal points, you can use float or double. For string, you
string,
don't
it
have
can
any
accommodate
limitation.
anything like it can be JSON, XML, anything, right?
So for that, you need to do some deserializers. Uh, um, you need to use some SERD is there, serializer, deserializer. Say we'll go to that. So basically,
Okay.
the architecture wise, you are fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So file format will go. So basically, how do you extract the data from? So means if you have data in your JSON file, how do you make that JSON file and map it to your Hive table? That we'll discuss even for XML other. Uh, so we'll just start with the CSV or text file. So which is very straightforward. Then I will also tell you how to handle your JSON data and XML data and other different types of data. Okay, now I will come back to this. Okay, so we discussed about Hive architecture. Now let's go and discuss about the manage table. Okay, so this is this is how you create a manage table. Create table name, and you provide a table information, the column information. Okay, this is a kind of simple create table structure. Actually, if you look at the proper means how the Hive table creation look like. So you can say this is create table, and you can also use a keyword if not exist, right? And customers. So means if the table customers not exist, it will create, or else it will not create. And the column information. So integer string, address is again string. For salary, most it will be whole number, but still you can define if there is any decimal points, you can use a double data type. So and you have another keyword called comment, where you can just provide the table in some quick note on what is this table for. So you can use the comment section, and this is very important things to note it down. Till here, what you specified is basically a table name and the column information, right? After that, you see the keyword row format delimited fields terminated by uh, space character, which means that the file which you are going to use it for loading the data into this table, right? The field should be a space separator. Okay, whatever the delimiter, like example, this is a customer data. This is my customer data, which is in file. So if you see here, each fields are not as comma separator, space separator. If your delimitation between each fields are comma, you go and change your delimiter here. You can change the delimiter. So the fields delimitation will be specified here, and before that you need to specify these keywords. Row format delimited fields terminated by the separator or the delimiter you need to specify here, and lines terminated by /n and stored as a text file. So this table syntax works only for the text file format. Okay, so if your file is a text file which has some fields are delimited by some different separators, then you can use this. And the lines, anyway, the text file lines are separated by end line character, which is a /n. Okay, so what we are trying to say that this table is going to store your data in a text file format, and these are the fields it has to follow. Basically, the each field should be separated with the space, and each line should be separated by /n. So now when I will come back to your question. What about when if you want to say your table is going to be a JSON format or XML format? You change uh, your formats. So basically, you need to use text file or a different file format, and you have to specify the SERD properties. Okay, I will come up with a new example for those. Then you need to change a little bit of this. So until the table name and column information will be same, but this is going to be different for the different file formats. That's a point I want to make it here. This syntax will only work for the text file or CSV file. For other file formats, you need to change this part of your create statement. Okay, let's run this table. So let me create database, and I'll just create a new database called SalesDB. And you need to use again the use command to use the specific database. So that generally you do on any database, right? So once you create a database, to connect to the database, you have to say use and SalesDB. Now I connected to the SalesDB. Now I'll run this query. So I'm creating a customer table with these properties. I can run show tables. So customer table is there. Okay, now we created a customer table. Okay, so I'll just okay, customer table is created, right? Now, if you want to insert data to this table or load the data or load the data into this table, there are two ways. Okay, one is I can actually use an insert statement like how we do on RDBMS. Say insert table. Insert into the customer table, and then values. You specify all your values. Say some the customer, what do I given? Customer ID, right? Say example 1, comma name is Shivan, and etc. Just you provide this table. So this is one way of loading your data into the customer table, inserting data into the customer table. Other way is there are load commands available. Load data load data local in path, and specify the location of your file and overwrite into table. So when we say this, what it means, so basically you will have a data in your when you say local in path, the path of your file which you are going to load into this data, this table, has to be a Linux path. If you remove this keyword local, then your path will be like HDFS path. So there is two way to load your data into customer table. If you're so there might be a scenario your file is already exist in the HDFS, right? So you can load the data into uh, the Hive table using a load data in path. That time, if your file is in HDFS, you don't use the local key, the keyword. You just say in path and file path of your HDFS file directory, sorry, location, and into this table. This is one way, and other way is you can use the inserts command also. Just insert into table and values is provided. So when you do that, it is going to launch the MapReduce job and insert the data into the table, Hive table. Okay, so this is how you do manage table. What when you insert a data into the manage table, the manage table, the Hive actually will maintain one directory in HDFS. Internally Hive uses the MapReduce in HDFS, right? So in HDFS, okay, this is the one I will use. In HDFS, there is a default directory called user Hive warehouse. This is called as warehouse directory. So whenever you create a Hive managed table and you load the data into this table, it is going to store your data in HDFS in this location. So anyway, the data is stored on HDFS, right? So the store your data in this warehouse directory, and this directory is controlled by this Hive SQL engine. So we don't have any control over the this directory. Okay, so it will create under the warehouse directory. It will create one directory for a database. So basically, it will be sales underscore db dot db1 directory will be there. Inside that, you will have one more directory called customers, and then inside that you will have files. So basically, the files will be naming convention, mostly it will be part kind of thing, I think. So I will show you once it is loaded. So it will basically have the files inside this. So whenever you write a SQL statement here, select star from customers where cust id equal to so and so, say example 101. So what it is going to do, it is going to just read the schema from Metastore, and then the Hive engine will generate the MapReduce job. But internally, it is going to read this customer data from this Hive warehouse directory. That's how Hive manage table is handled. Okay, let us do for this data. Any question you have?
This inpath file allow details to override or it can append also. Like
We
insert
can
is
append also. We can see actually
okay.
this override keyword for mostly it will be used to for when you want to override the existing data or first time, generally when you do first time. So after that you can remove this override
Okay.
keyword. Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Okay, so let me know if you have any question. Meanwhile, I just check whether where this file is there. I will open one more window. I'll make today class very simple. So just okay. So I have a customer data placed here. See whatever examples we saw, well, like the one which I showed you. So there are 7 rows in this table, sorry, in the file, which is having customer information. Let's load this data into Hive table. For now, we don't have any data in this. Yeah. So let's run this. So basically, this is a path where your HDFS, sorry, not in HDFS, this is in Linux directory. So I'll use uh, uh, load data local in path and then overwrite into this table. Let me run this. Okay, this is got loaded. So let me where ID equal to, I'll just say ID equal to 5. Okay, so it went and read the data of customer 5 and it given you the details. I'll just say get only the customer name and age. And okay, so did you notice when I use the select star from customer table, probably I will execute that also. And also say example when I just tried as a customer select star from customer table and when I specify the particular ID, so all this did not generate the MapReduce job. So I was able to go and read the table without generating MapReduce job and it is able to fetch the result. But when you do kind of sorting and other queries, it generated the MapReduce job. So Hive has some kind of the intelligence. If a query is very simple, it can actually go and query the data without generating MapReduce job. So those time it will just use file storage. So say when I say select star from customers, so it's not generate, it will not generate MapReduce job. So it knows that okay, you are going to read the entire table data. So it will use the file operation, right? So when you want to read data from HDFS, you have to create a file system object and you can query the data which is there in HDFS. So that's what for simple queries, it will not generate any MapReduce job. It can do the file operation. It's more of file operation it is doing, but it is done by the Hive execution engine. And if you want to see your data, how it was internally stored, you can go to user Hive warehouse. You see there is a folder called sales underscore db.db, and inside that you have a customer, and it was storing your data here. From here only it is retrieving your data, and whenever you store your data, it stores your data here. So this is a location. So what Hive is doing is it's storing your data inside this location, this warehouse location. So managed table, all your managed table data are stored on the Hive warehouse directory. When you drop this table, your schema as well as the data stored in this table will be dropped. So that's how the Hive managed table so works. We'll discuss about Hive external table tomorrow. Okay, so we'll keep it with this. We'll keep this. Please just go and read about Hive. What is Hive? How the Hive architecture works. Whatever I told you, same thing. Only the Hive internally inside Hive server. Sorry, Hive driver. You have few more components. I will tell you tomorrow. So when you get a time, just explore it. You have any question? Remaining things we'll discuss tomorrow.
As of now, no questions, Pari.
I'm going to share this Hive ref underscore 120txt file and this document, Hive installation document. Just keep it. Okay. These two keep it, and tomorrow we'll just focus on probably we'll start with Hive installation, then we'll focus on Hive external table and other concepts. Okay, so if you don't have any question, we will wrap up. Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Pari, Pari, one question. Is it fine to at least for 7:30?
Okay, yeah, no problem for me. What about others?
No, ask everyone some. What about others also have some problem?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is that 7:30 is okay for everyone? Please confirm.